Oh, sir, shall I say one of the regular things that people in a theater always laugh at?
Say what you like. Oh, except I'm overloaded. Oh, but mine not that. It's simply wormwood to me.
Not anything funny?
Not, oh, my poor blisters.
Suppose I made a great joke.
Oh, by all means, don't be afraid. Only for mercy's sake, don't go.
Don't do what?
Oh, don't shift your luggage pole across and say, oh, I went to blow my nose. Ugh.
Nor that I've got such a weight upon my back that unless someone helps me quickly, I shall sneeze.
No, don't. Save it till I need a medic's.
Then what's the good of carrying all this lumber if I mayn't make one single good old wheeze like Pharynacus, Amphius, and Lycus?
No, don't. When I sit out there and hear some of those choice products, I go home a 12th month older.
Poor neck, blistered all round, and mustn't say blistered because that's funny.
Airs and insolence. When I, Dionysus, child of the great jug, must walk and work myself, and have him riding lest he should tire himself or carry things.
Am I not carrying things?
Oh, they're carrying you.
I'm carrying this!
How?
With my back half broken.
That bag is clearly being carried by a donkey.
No donkey carries the bags that I am carrying.
Well, I suppose you know the donkey is carrying you.
I don't. I only know my shoulder's sore.
Well, if it does you no good, take turns and let the poor beast ride on you.
Just my luck. What? Why wasn't I on board at Arginusay? Then I'd let you have it.
Oh, dismount, you rascal. Here's the door where I must turn in first, and I on foot. Hey, porter! Hi, porter! Hi!
What? Who's knocking there? More like a mad bull butting at the door, whoever he is. Mercy on me! What's this?
Boy!
What, sir?
Did you notice?
Notice what?
The man's afraid.
Oh, yes, sir. Afraid you're cracked.
I wouldn't if I could possibly help it. I'm trying to bite my lip, but all the same.
Don't be absurd! Come here. I want something.
I would, but I can't yet shake this laughter off. The lion skin on a robe of saffron silk. Out comes my clubed sword with high-heeled boots. What's the idea? Where have you come from now?
I've been at sea, serving with Cleisthenes.
Oh, you fought a battle, huh?
Yes, sank several ships, some 12 or 13.
Just you two?
Of course.
And then I awoke, and it was all a dream.
Well, there I was, one day on the deck, reading the Andromeda, when all at once a great desire came knocking at my heart. Oh, well, you would hardly think.
A great desire? How big?
Oh, not so large, perhaps as large as Malone.
Who was the lady?
The lady.
The girl?
Great heavens, there wasn't one.
Or a boy?
Oh, no.
A man?
Aha.
Was it for Cleisthenes?
Don't mock me, brother. It is a serious thing, a great passion that has worn me to a shadow.
Well, tell us all about it.
Oh, no, I can't. I mean, you would never, but I shall think of an analogy. Have you ever felt the sudden urge for peas broth?
Peas broth? Oh, bless me, crowds of times.
Seest then the sudden truth, or shall I put it another way?
Oh, no. Not about peas broth. I see it quite.
Well, I am now consumed by just that sort of restless craving for Euripides.
Zeus save us, the man's dead.
He is, and no one in this world will stop me from going to see him.
Down to the place of shades?
The place of shades in any shadier.
What do you want to get?
I want a poet, for most be dead, for only the false live on.
Well, Eophon still alive?
Well, there you have it. The one good thing still left us, if it is that. For to even that I have my doubts.
But say, why don't you bring up, Sophocles, for instance, if you must have someone back?
No, not till I've had Eophon quite alone and seen what word he gives without his father. Anyways, Euripides, being full of tricks, would gladly give the slip to his master if need were and escape with us. Whereas Sophocles, being content with us, will be content in hell.
And Agathon, where is he?
Gone far away, a poet, true, whom many friends regret.
Strew him. Where?
To feast with peaceful kings.
And Xenocles?
Plague take Xenocles.
Athangulus, then?
And no one thinks of me when my shoulder is skinning. Simply skinning.
But aren't there other pretty fellows there, all writing tragedies by tens of thousands, and miles verboser than Euripides?
Leaves without fruit, trills in the empty air, and startling chatter, mutilating art. Give them one chance, and that's the end of them. 1 week assault on an unprotected muse. Search as you will not find a poet today with grit in him to wake a word of power.
How grit?
Grit that gives them urges to risk bold things, a vast ether, residence of gods or time's long foot, or souls that won't go around swearing falsely while their tongues go swearing falsely.
Like that stuff?
I rave about it.
Why, yes, it's, devilish tricky, as you say.
Ride not upon my soul. Use your own donkey.
Well, I only meant it was obviously humbug.
Well, if I ever need advice about a dinner, I'll come to you.
And no one thinks of me.
Well, I came here in these special trappings, disguised as you, in fact, was this. I want you to tell me the road you took that time when to go fetch up Cerberus. Tell me with all the hosts with whom you stayed. I want your towns, your inns, your harbors, your taverns, reputable and otherwise, your springs, your roads, your house ladies that keep the fewest fleas.
And no one thinks of me.
Bold man. And will you dare?
Oh, now don't start with that kind of thing. Just tell the two of us which way will take us quickest down to Hades, and please, no extremes of hot or cold.
Well, which one had I better tell you first? Which one now? Yes, suppose you got a boatman to tug you, with a hawser round your neck.
A choky journey, sort of that.
Well then, there is a short road, quick and smooth, the surface well pounded. In a mortar.
The Hemlock Way?
Exactly.
Oh, no, cold and bitter. Oh, it freezes all of your shins numb.
Do you mind one short and steep?
Oh, why, not in the least. You know I'm no great walker.
Then just stroll down to Ceramicus.
Well?
Climb up the big tower.
Good, and
then watch and see them start the torch race down below. Lean over till you hear the man say go, and then go.
Where?
Why, over.
Oh, no, not for me. Oh, it'll cost me 2 whole sausage bags of brains. I won't go that way.
Well, how will you go?
The way you went that time.
Oh, that voyage is long. You first come to a great mere, fathomless and very wide.
How do I get across?
In a little boat, like that. An aged man will row you across the ferry for 2 obols.
Those 2 opals everywhere at work. I wonder how they made their way down there.
Theseus took them. And then after that, you'll see snakes and queer monsters, crowds and crowds.
No, don't play bogeys. You can never move me.
Then, deep mire and everlasting filth, and wallowing there such as have wronged a guest, or picked a wench's pocket while they kissed her, or swinged his mother, or profanely smitten his father's cheek, or sworn an oath for sworn.
And with them, I should hope they learned Dionysus' latest battle dance, or copied a speech from Morsimus.
Yeah. Then you will find a breath about your ears of music, and a light before your eyes most beautiful, like this. And myrtle groves, and joyous throngs of women and of men, and clapping of glad hands.
And who will they be?
The initiated.
Yes, and I'm the donkey holiday making at the mysteries. But I won't stand this wait. One moment longer.
And they will forthwith tell you all that you seek. They have their dwelling just beside the road at Pluto's very door. So now goodbye, and a pleasant journey, brother.
Thank you. Goodbye. Take care of yourself. Quick, take up the bags again.
Before I put them down?
Yes, and be quick about it.
No, really, sir. We ought to hire a porter.
Yeah, and what if I can't find one?
Then I'll go.
Fine. Well, here's a funeral just in time. Hello, sir. Yes, it is you I am addressing, the defunct. Care to carry a few traps down to Hades?
How heavy?
What you say?
You'll pay 2 drachmas.
Oh, come now, that's rather much.
Bearers, move on.
Oh, now wait, sir. See if we can't arrange.
2 drachmas down, or else don't talk to me.
9 opals.
Strike me living if I will.
That dog will come to a bad end. Well, I'll be porter.
That's a good and brave fellow. What have we here?
That? A lake?
Zeus, it is! The mare he spoke of!
Yes, I see a boat.
By the powers! It must be Charon! Ahoy,
Yes.
Charon!
Ahoy! Charon, ahoy!
Ahoy!
Who is for the rest from sufferings and cares? Who's for the carrion crows, the dead donkeys, Lethe, Sparta, and the rest of hell?
I.
Get in.
Where do you touch? The carrion crows, you said.
The dogs will be the place for you. Get in.
Come, Xanthias.
I don't take servants. Unless he has won his freedom. Did he fight the battle of the cold meat unpreserved?
Well, no. My eyes were very sore just then, so
Then jump down on your legs!
Where shall I meet you?
At the cold seat, beside the blasting stone.
You understand?
Oh, quite. Just my luck. What can have crossed me when I started out?
Sit to your oar. Any more passengers? If so, make haste. What are you doing there?
Why, just as you said, I'm sitting to my oar.
Oh, are you? Well, get up again and sit down there. Hot to get?
Like this.
Put out your arms and stretch.
Oh, like this.
None of your nonsense here. Put both your feet against the stretcher. Now in good time, row.
And how do you expect me, a man with no experience, no seamanship, no salamis, to row?
Oh, you'll row all right. As soon as you fall to, you will hear the loveliest of timing songs.
What from?
Frog swans, most wonderful.
Then give the word.
O brood of the mere and the spring, gather together and sing.
From the depths of your throat,
by the side of the boat.
Coax as we move in a ring.
As in Limne we sang the divine Nicene giver of wine.
When the people in lots with their sanctified pots came reeling around my shrine.
Coax, 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 coax.
Don't sing anymore. I begin to soar.
Coax.
Coax?
Coax.
Gawak!
Coax.
Is it nothing to you if I'm black and I'm blue?
Coax.
A plague on all you swarming packs. There's nothing in you except coax.
well, what more do you need? Though it's none of your business indeed.
When the muse thereanent is entirely content,
And horny Hoofpan with his reed.
When Apollo is fain to admire my voice on account of his lyre.
which he frames with the rushes.
And watery bushes.
Coax.
Which I grow in the mire.
Coax, coax, coax.
Coax.
These musical sisters, I'm covered in blisters.
Coax.
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 Gawak!
Our song we can double.
Without the least trouble.
Coax.
And we now if ever hopping through the scented flowering rushes.
In and out the sunshine flopping, we have sported rising, dropping.
with our song that nothing hushes.
Sing if there in days of storm, safe our native oozes bore us.
Save the rain, have kept us warm till we set our dancing farm.
Raised our hubble bubbling chorus.
Coax.
Catch coax, coax. I can sing it as loud as you.
Sisters, that must never do.
Would you have me roll till my shoulder cracks?
Coax.
Oh, catch coax, coax. Grown away till you burst your backs. It's nothing to me.
Just wait till you see.
I don't care how you scold.
Then all day long.
We will croak you a song as loud as our throats can hold.
Coax, coax.
Catch coax, coax. I'll see you don't outdo me in that.
Well, you shall never beat us, that's flat.
I'll make you cease your song if I shout it for all day long. My lungs I'll tax with coax, coax. I assure you they're thoroughly strong. Till at last your efforts at last relax. Catch coax, coax. Catch coax, coax. I knew in the end I would stop your quacks.
Easy there. Lay her alongside. Now pay your fee and go.
There are your opals. Oh, Xanthias! Where is Xanthias? Is that you?
Hello?
Oh, come this way.
Oh, I'm glad to see you.
What have we here?
Oh, darkness and mud.
Did you see any of those perjurers here? Or father beaters as he said we should?
Oh, why, didn't you?
Aye, many. I see them now. Well, what are we to do?
Move further on. This is the place, as he said, was all a swarm with horrid beasts.
Oh, a plague on what he said. Exaggerating just to frighten me, because he knew my courage and was jealous. Not lives so flown with pride as Heracles. I mean, it would be my best wish to meet with something, some real adventure worthy of our travels.
Stay! Yes, upon my word, I hear a noise.
What? Where?
Oh, behind us, there!
Will they get you behind?
No, it's in front somewhere.
Oh, they got in front!
Why there? I see it. Oh, save us, a great beast!
What like?
Oh, horrid! At least it keeps changing. It was a bull. Now it's a mule. Now it's a young girl.
Where is it? Let me at it.
No. Oh, stay, sir. It's not a girl anymore. It's a dog.
It must be a Pusa.
Oh, yes. At least its head is all on fire.
Has it a leg of brass?
Yes, that it has. And the other leg of cow dung. It's she.
Oh, God! Oh, where shall I go?
Well, where shall I? Oh, we're done for. Oh, Lord Heracles.
Oh, no, don't shout like that, man, and don't breathe that name.
Dionysus, then.
Oh, no, that's worse than the other. Just keep on the way you're going.
Come along, sir.
What is it?
Oh, don't be afraid, sir. Empusa's gone. We can say, as did Hegelicus, beyond these storms I can catch a piece of tail. She's gone.
Swear it.
By Zeus, she's gone.
Again.
By Zeus, she's gone.
Your solemn oath.
By Zeus.
Why, that made me feel quite pale. How could I have sinned so large to bring all of this upon me? Who up in the heavens is bent on my destruction? My word.
What is it?
Don't you hear it?
What?
Flutes blowing.
Yes. And such a smell of torches floating towards us. All most mystery-like.
Crouch quietly down and let us hear the music.
Yakis, oh Yakis, Yakis, oh Yakis.
That's it, sir. These are the initiated rejoicing somewhere here, just as he told us. Why, it's the old Yakis hymn that used to warm the cockles of Diagoras.
Yes, it must be. But we'd best sit quite still and listen until we are sure.
Thou that dwellest in the shadow of great glory here beside us.
Spirit, Spirit, here guide us to thy dancing in the meadow.
On the Arcus let thy brow toss its fruited myrtle bough.
We are thine, O happy dancer, O our comrade, come and guide us.
Let thy mystic measure beat, come in riot fiery fleet.
Free and holy here before thee, while the charities adore thee.
And thy mist I wait the music of thy feet.
Oh, Virgin of Demeter, highly blessed. What entrancing smell of roasted pig!
Oh, hush, hold your tongue, and they might give you some.
Spirit, Spirit, lift the shaken splendor of thy tossing torches.
All the meadow flashes scorches, up Iacchus and awaken.
One thou star that bringest light to the darkness of our right.
Till thine old men leap as young men leap with every thought forsaken.
Of the dullness and the fear left by many a circling year.
Let thy red light guide the dances where thy banded youth advances.
Be merry by the blossoms of the mere.
Hush, oh hush, for our song begins. Let everyone stand aside. Who owns an intellect muddled with sins, or an arts like these untried? If the mystic rites of the muse is true, he has never seen nor sung. If he never the magical music knew of Cratinus the bull eater's tongue. If he likes in a comedy nothing but riot and meaningless harlequinade, or in matters of politics cannot keep quiet and see that cabals be allayed, but blows up spite and keeps it alight to serve his personal ends, or being in power at a critical hour accepts little gifts from his friends, or goes selling a ship, or betraying a fort, or takes to the trade of a smuggler, attempting again in Thracian sort that pestilent revenue juggler, from Agena before us to stalk Epidaurus with tar and canvas and hide, or tries to persuade some friend in the trade for the enemy's ships to provide, or a teacher of choirs who forgets his position and damages Hecate's shrines, or the robber of poets, the mere politician who spites us with pitiful fines, because we have suitably made him absurd in the gods' traditional rhyme. Behold, I give word, and give word again, and give word for the third last time. Make Rome all such for our song and dance up you, and give us a lay that is meet for our mirth making all night long, and for this great festival day.
Forth fare all, this meet's bowers bear fresh flowers, forth I call.
Leap, mock, dance, play, and nothing to spare, we have feasted today.
March, raise high, her whose hands save these lands, praise do cry.
Maid, maid, save these.
Though it may not exactly Thracian please.
One hymn to the maiden, now raise ye another, to the queen of the fruits of the earth, to Demeter, corn giver, goddess and mother, make worship in musical mirth.
Approach, O queens of orgies pure, and us thy faithful band ensure, from morn to eve to ply secure, our mocking and our clowning.
To grace thy feast with many a hit of merry jest or serious wit, and laugh and earn the prize, and flits triumphant to the crowning.
Now call the god of blooming Maine, raise the mystic chorus, our comrade he, and guide unseen with us and before us.
Iacchus, high in glory, thou whose day of all is merriest, hither help our play. Show, as we throne thee at thy maiden's side, how light to thee are our long leagues of way. Iacchus, happy dancer, be our guide.
Thyself, that poorest men thy joy should share, didst rend thy robe, thy royal sandal tear, that feet unshod might dance and robes went wide, wave in thy revel with no aftercare. Iacchus, happy dancer, be our guide.
Lo there! But now across the dance apace, a maiden tripped, a maiden fair of face, whose tattered smock and kerchief scarce could hide the merry bosom peering from its place. Iacchus, happy dancer, be our guide.
I always like to follow someone else. Suppose we join and dance.
I so say I!
Perhaps 'twill best beseem us to deal with Archidemus, who is toothless still and rootless at 7 years from birth.
Yet he leads the public preachers of those poor dead upper creatures, and is prince of all the shadiness on earth.
And Cleisthenes, says rumor, in a wild despairing humor, sits huddled up and tearing out his hair among the graves.
To believe that he would incline us, that a person named Sabinus is tossing yet unburied on the waves.
While Callias, says Tattle, has attended a sea battle, and lionesses' scalps were the uniform he wore.
You'd oblige us much by telling us the way to Pluto's dwelling. We are strangers newly lighted to your shore.
No need of distant travel, that problem to unravel, for know that while you ask me, you are standing at the door.
Oh, then up, my lad, be packing.
There's devil in the sacking. He can't stay still a second on the floor.
Now onward through Demeter's rings, through her leaves and flowers. All who love her junketing, all who know her powers, fare forward you, while I go here with matron and with maiden, to make their night-long roaming clear with tossing torches laden.
Then on mid the meadows deep, where thickest the rosebuds creep, and the dewdrops are pearliest.
A jubilant step advance, in our own our eternal dance, till its joy the glad fates entrance who tread it its earliest.
For ours is the sunshine bright, yea, ours is the joy of light, all pure without danger.
For we thine elect have been, the secrets our eyes have seen, and hearts we have guarded clean, towards kinsmen and stranger.
Well, I ought by rights to knock, but how I wonder, I don't know how they do knock in this country.
Don't waste time. Go in and do your best, like Heracles, in heart as well as garb.
Ho there!
Who summons?
Heracles the Brave.
Thou rash, impure, and most abandoned man! Foul, in the foul, yea, foulest upon earth, who harried our dog Cerberus and choked him dumb, fled, vanished, and left me to bear the blame. Who kept him? Now I have thee on the hip. So close the blackened cavern, rocks of sticks, and Acaronian crags adrip with blood surround thee. And Cocytus circling hounds, and the 100-headed herpin that shall rend thy bowels asunder. To thy lungs shall cleave the lamprey of Tartessus, and thy reins and inmost entrails in one paste of gore. Thy Thracians Gorgons gorge forevermore. To whom even now I speed my indignant course.
Please?
What's the matter? Quick, get up again before they come and see you.
Oh, but I feel quite faint. Quick, put a cold wet sponge against my heart.
There. You apply it.
Thanks. Oh, where is it?
There. Ye golden gods! Is that where you keep your heart?
The nervous shock made it go down. And down?
You are the greatest coward I've ever seen, of gods or humans.
I? A coward? I had the presence of mind to ask you for a sponge. Few had done more.
Could anyone do less?
A coward would still be flat there on the ground sniffing salts. I rose, asked for a sponge, and used the sponge.
That was brave, by Poseidon.
I should think so. And weren't you frightened by his awful threats and language?
I never cared to rap.
Oh, you're a hero, aren't you, and want glory? Well, here, you take the lion's skin and the club, and you be me. If you're so dauntless-hearted.
Over with both of them. Of course I will. Oh. Now watch. If Xanthias Heracles turns faint or shows the same presence of mind as you.
A true Melatian jailbird on my life. Huh. Well, better pick up the bags then, huh?
Dear Heracles, and is it you once more? No sooner did my mistress learn you're coming than she set her bread to bake, set pots of split pea porridge, 2 or 3 a boiling, a whole ox upon the coals, cakes in the oven, and big buns. Come in.
She is very kind. Perhaps some other time.
Oh, really, but I mustn't let you go. She's doing everything herself. Braised game, spices, and fruits, and stoops of the sweetest wine. Come in with me.
Most kind, but...
No excuses. I won't let go. A flute player, very pretty, is waiting for you. And 2 or 3 such sweet, young, dancing girls.
Did you say dancing girls?
Yes. Do come in. They were just going to serve the fish and have the table lifted in.
I will. I'll chance it. Go straight in and tell those dancing girls that Heracles is coming. Here, boy. Take up the bags and follow me.
Oh, please stop. You didn't think I was serious when I just dressed you up as Heracles for fun, did you? Oh, Xanthias, you can't be so ridiculous! Now, quick, take up the bags and bring them in at once.
Surely you don't mean to take away your own gift.
Mean it? Oh, no, I'm doing it. Now, quick, off of that lion's hide.
Help! I'm being assaulted! I leave it with the gods.
The gods, indeed. What senseless vanity to be expected to be Alcmena's son. A mortal and a slave.
We'll take it. I don't care. The time may be, God willing, when you'll feel the need of me.
That's the way such points to settle, like a chief of tested metal, weather-worn on many seas.
On one fixed time something like a painted thing, but dropping always towards the side of ease.
'Tis the instinct for soft places to stay warm while others freeze. Marks a man of gifts and graces, like our own Theremenes.
Surely 'twould the matter worsen if I saw this low-bred person sprawling on his cushion, so served him drinking, watched him winking, and if he had known what I was thinking, and he for certain would know what I was thinking, being a mighty shrewd deviser of such fancies, perhaps with a blow he'd loosen an incisor from the forefront of my row. Ugh. Oh, plague take me! Not a friend left in the world except old Xanthias.
Oh, I know. We all see what you want. But that's enough. I won't be Heracles.
Oh, no, don't say that, Xanthias, old boy.
And how am I to be Alcmena's son? A mortal and a slave.
Oh, I know you're angry and quite justly so. Hit me if you like. I won't say one word back. But mark, if I ever again in this wide world I rob you of these clothes, destruction fall upon me, myself, my wife, my little ones, and if you'd so like it, that old bad Archidamus.
That oath will do. I take it on those terms.
Now 'tis yours to make repayment. For the honor of this raiment, very well, as there 'tis more.
If it needs some renovating, think of whom you're personating. Glare like Heracles and roar.
Else, if any fear you show, sir, any weakness at the core, any jesting, back you go, sir, to the baggage as before.
Thank you for your kind intention, but I had some comprehension of the task I undertook. Should the lion skin make for profit, he'll attempt to make me dolphin. That I know by hook or crook. Still, I'll make my acting real. Peppery gait, fiery look. Ah, here comes the great ordeal. See the door? I'm sure it shook.
Here, seize this dog stealer and lead him forth to justice, quick!
Well, here's fun for somebody.
Stop! Zounds! Not one step more.
You want to fight? Oh, Daedalus Scabulus Particus forward! Oblige this person with some fighting!
Wait!
I'm excited to see somebody fighting the constables and stealing other people's things.
Natural, that's what I call it.
Quite a pain to see.
Okay, all right. Now, listen, and I'll act quite fairly by you. Take this poor boy and put him to the question.
What tortures do you allow?
Oh, use all you like. You might well try some vinegar up his nose, or bricks upon his chest. Use all you'd like, only no scourges made of leek or young shallot.
Most frank offer, most frank. If my treatment disables him, the value shall be paid.
Don't mention it. Remove him and begin.
Thank you. We'll do it here that you may witness exactly what he says. Put down your bundle and mind you tell the truth.
Let all be known. To torture me is an illegal act, being immortal, and all who do so must take the consequences.
Why, who are you?
Dionysus, the immortal son of Zeus, and this is my slave.
You hear this protest?
Oh, yes. All the more reason that for whipping him. If he's a real immortal, he won't feel it.
Well, you claim to be immortal too. They ought to give you the same as me.
That's fair enough. All right. Whichever of us you first find crying, or the least bit minding of your whip, you're free to say he's no true god.
Sir, you behave like a true gentleman. You come to justice of yourself. Now then, strip both.
How will you test us?
Easily. You'll each take whack and whack about.
All right.
There!
Watch now, if you even see me wince.
But I've already hit you.
I think not.
Upon my word, it looks as if I hadn't. Well, now then, I'll whack the other.
When?
I've done it.
Oh, it didn't even make my nose snuffle.
It is odd. Well, I'll try the first again.
All right, be quick. Whoa!
While the whoa, it didn't hurt you.
Oh no! I was just thinking when my Diomede feast would next be due.
A holy thought. I'll step across again. What's that?
Oh, I saw Calvary.
What makes your eyes run?
There's a smell of onions in the air.
You sure it didn't hurt you?
Hard. Oh, not it.
I'll step across to the first one.
Oh, Lord!
It hurts! It hurts!
Poseidon, ruler free of cliffs Aegean and the grey salt sea.
Now, by Demeter, it's beyond my power to tell which one of you's a god. Then come in. We'll ask my master. He and Persephone will easily know you being gods themselves.
Quite wisely said. Though I wish you could have said that before you had me swished.
Draw near, O muse, to the smell of my song, set foot in the sanctified place, and see that faithful Athenian throng, to whom the myriad marks belong, the myriad marks of grace.
Greater than Cleophon's own, on whose lips a bilingual moan. A swallow from Thrace has taken his place in chirps and blood-curdling tone. On the gibberish tree's thick branches high, as he utters a nightingale note, a tumultuous cry that he's certain to die, even with an equal vote.
Behold this sacred chorus, in its wisdom and its bliss, to assist the state, the council. Now our first advice is this: let Athenians all stand equal, penal laws be swept away. Some of us have been misguided, following Phrynichus astray. Now for all of these we urge you, let full freedom be decreed, to confess the cause that tripped them, and blot out that old misdeed. Next no man should live in Athens, outcast, robbed of every right. Shame it is that low-born aliens, just for sharing one sea fight, should forthwith become Plataeans, and instead of slaves be masters. Not that in the least I blame you for thus meeting our disasters. No, I pay respectful homage to the one wise thing you've done. Remember these men also, your own kinsmen, sire and son, who have oft-times fought beside you, spilled their blood on many seas. Grant for them that fault the pardon that they crave you on their knees. You whom nature made for wisdom, let your vengeance fall to sleep. Greet his kinsmen and Athenians, burghers true to win and keep. Whosoe'er will brave the storms and fight for Athens at your side. But be sure if we still spurn them, if we wrap us in our pride. Stand alone with Athens tossing in the long arm of the waves. Many days shall come to wonder and not praise you in your grave.
That's what I'm saying!
Now the make of a man may frown the ways that lead to a fall. Not long will it that troubles us now. Not long middle class needs championized valve, rascally washermen all.
Who hold over their soap their sway, and lie in Simolean clay, which they thriftily mix with the scraping of bricks. Not long will our little one stay. Oh, 'tis well he is warlike and ready to kick, for once home from supper he trotted, talking genially thick, and without his big stick we should probably find him garroted.
It has often struck our notice that the course our city runs is the same towards men and money. She has true and worthy sons. She has good and ancient silver. She has good and recent gold. These are coins untouched with alloys everywhere. Their fame is told. Not all Hellas hold their equal. Not all Barbary far and near. Gold or silver, each well minted, tested, each and ringing clear. Yet we never use them. Others always pass from hand to hand. Sorry, rash to struck last week and branded with a wretched brand. So we know for men with upright, blameless lives and noble names, trained in music and Phaestra, freemen's choirs and freemen's games. These we spurn for men of brass, the red-haired things of unknown breed. Rascal comes among both others, them we use at every need. Creatures just arrived in Athens, whom our city years ago scarcely would have used a scapegoat to be slaughtered for a show. And even now we'll raise the men to theirs. Time to change your ways. Use us more what's worth the using. If we escape them more the praise that we fought our fight with wisdom. Our fall is lost for good. Let the tree on which they hang us be at least of decent wood.
Decent wood. Decent wood.
Wood, yeah.
Decent
wood.
Decent wood.
Jill, get out of here! Move! By Zeus, that's what I call a gentleman, that master of yours.
Gentleman? That he is. There's nothing in his head but wine and wenches.
But to not have flogged you when the truth came out, that you, the servant, passed off as a master.
I'd like to see him try it.
Spoken like a true servant. That's what I love myself.
You like it, huh?
Oh, like it? Oh, when I get behind my master's back and quietly curse him, I feel just like the blessed in the mysteries.
What about muttering as you go outside after a whacking?
Oh, yes, I like that too.
And prying into people's secrets, huh?
Oh, by Zeus, there's nothing like it in the world!
Oh, Zeus makes brethren meet, and what of listening to what the masters say?
Oh, it makes me mad!
And telling every word of it to strangers!
Oh, matter the mad, stark, staring crimson matter!
Oh, Lord Apollo, clap your right hand here! Give me your cheek to kiss and you kiss me! But Zeus, our own friendly Zeus of the friendly jailbirds. What is that noise? Those shouts and quarreling inside.
That's Aeschylus and Euripides.
Oh.
Yes, there's a big business just astir, and a hot dissension among all the dead.
About what?
There's a large law established here concerning all the large and liberal arts, which grants the foremost master in each art free entertainment at central hearth, and a special throne on Pluto's row.
Now I understand.
To hold until there comes one greater. Then he must make way.
But how has this affected Aeschylus?
Aeschylus held the throne of tragedy as greatest.
Held it? Why, who holds it now?
When Euripides came down, he gave free exhibitions to our choicest thieves and footpads and cut purses, burglars, father beaters, of whom we have a number here. And as soon as they heard the neat retorts, the fencing, and the twist, they all went mad and thought him something splendid. And he, growing proud, laid hands upon the throne where Aeschylus sat.
And wasn't pelted off?
Oh, not he. The whole folk clamored for a trial to see which one was master of his craft.
The whole jail folk?
Exactly. Loud as trumpets.
And were there none to fight for Aeschylus?
Oh, goodness is scarce, you know. Same as here.
And what does Pluto mean to do about it?
Why, hold a trial and contest on the spot to test their skills for certain.
I say, Sophocles must have surely claimed the throne.
Oh, not he. As soon as he came down, he kissed old Aeschylus and wrung his hand, and Aeschylus made room on half his seat, and now he means to wait, or so at least Clydemedes informs us, in reserve. If Aeschylus wins the day, he'll rest content. If not, why then, for poor art's sake, he must show fight against Euripides.
Is to be then.
Certainly, and quite soon. Just where you stand will have the shock of war, the way the poetry line by line.
Poor thing. A lamb set in the meat scale and found wanting.
They'll break straight edges out and cubit rules and folded cube frames.
Is it bricks they want?
And meter squares and wedges, line by line, Euripides will test all tragedies.
That must make Aeschylus angry, I should think.
Well, it did make him stoop and glower like a mad bull.
Who'll be the judge?
That was a difficulty. Both vowed another dearth for proper critics, for Aeschylus objected to the Athenians.
Perhaps he thought the jail folk rather many?
And all the world besides, he thought mere dirt at seeing what kind of thing a poet was. So, in the end, they fixed upon your master as having much experience in the business. But come in. When the master's face looks grave, there's mostly trouble coming for the slave.
Eftsoons shall dire anger in turn be the thunderer's portion. When his foes glib tusk fresh whetted for blood he descries, then fell shall his heart be, and mad in a pallid distortion descend as a cloud on his eyes. Yea, with words, with plumes wild on the wind, and with helmets a-glancing, with axles a-splinter and marble a-shiver, eftsoons shall bleed as a man meets the shock of a thought-builder's prancing stanzas of dusky trichomes. The deep crest of his mane shall uprise as he slowly unlimbers the long-drawn wrath of his brow, and lets loose with a roar epithets welded and screwed like new torrent-swept timbers blown loose by a giant at war. Then rises the man of the mouth, and battleward flashes a tester of verses, a smooth and serpentine tongue, to dissect each phrase into mincemeat and argue to ashes that high-towered labor of lung.
Pray, no advice to me. I won't give way. I claim that I'm more master of my art.
You hear him, Aeschylus? Why don't you speak?
He wants to open with an awful silence, the blood-curdling reserve of his first scenes.
I must beg, sir, control your language.
I know him. I've seen through him years ago. Bard of the noble savage, wooden-mouthed. No door, no bolt, no bridle to his tongue, a torrent of pure bombast tied in bundles.
How say'st thou, son of the goddess of the greens? You dare speak thus of me, you phrase collector, blind beggar bard and scum of rifled ragbags. Oh, you shall rue it!
Stop, Aeschylus. Strike not thine heart on fire of rancor old.
No, I'll expose this crutch and cripple playwright and what he's worth for all his insolence.
Oh, a lamb, a black lamb, boys, bring it out quick to sacrifice. A hurricane set loose.
You and your Cretan dancing solos. You and the ugly amours that you set to verse.
One moment, please, most noble Aeschylus, and you, poor wretch, if you have any prudence, get out of the hailstorms quick, before a word as large as your head catches you crash behind the ear and knocks out all that telephus. Nay, Aeschylus, pray control your anger. Examine and submit to be examined with a cool head. Two poets should not meet in fishwife style, but here you are, straight off a blaze and roaring like an oak on fire.
For my part, I'm quite ready, with no shrinking, to bite first or be bitten, as he pleases. Here are my dialogue, music, and construction. Here's Peleus at your service, Meleager and Aeolus, and, yes, Telephus, by all means.
Do you consent to the trial, Aeschylus? Speak.
I well might take objection to the place. It's no fair field for him and me.
Why not?
Because my writings haven't died with me, as his have. So we'll have them all to him. However, I waive the point if you think fit.
Someone, bring me fire and frankincense that I may pray for guidance to decide this contest in the muse's strictest ways, to whom in the meantime uphold your hymns of praise.
All hail, ye 9 heaven-born virginal muses, which arrow ye watch o'er the manners and uses of the fountain of quotation when meeting in fray, all hard draw tens for who wins and who loses.
With wrestling live, each other confuses. Look on the pair that you battle today.
These be the men to take poems apart by chopping, riving, sawing.
Here is the ultimate trial of art, to do completion drawing.
Won't you both perch some frankincense before you div your lines?
Demeter, thou who feedest all my thought, grant me but worthiness to worship thee.
Won't you put down some frankincense?
Oh, thank you. The gods I pray to are of other metal.
Your own stamp. Newly struck?
Exactly so.
Well, pray away to your own peculiar.
Ether whereon I batten, vocal cords, reason and nostrils, swift to scent and sneer. Grant that I duly probe each word I hear.
All of us to hear our yearning, further from these twins of learning, which road they walk, what burning heights they climb of speech and song.
Tongues alert for battle savage, Templars clean for war and ravage, angered hearts to both belong. He will fight with passes witty, smooth and smacking of the city.
Gleaming blades and flecked with rust, he will seize to end the matter. Tree trunks torn and clubbed to batter, brains to bits, plunge to scatter, whole arenas full of dust.
Now, quick to work. Be sure you both do justice to your cases. Clear sense, no loose analogies, and no long commonplaces.
A little later I will treat my own artistic metal. This person's claims I should prefer immediately to settle. I'll show you how he posed and prosed, with what audacious fooling he tricked an audience fresh and green from Phrynicus schooling. Those soul-veiled figures on the stage were first among his graces. Achilles, say, or Niobe, who never showed their faces, but stood like so much scene painting, and never a grunt they uttered.
I no more than Zeus they did.
And on the chorus spluttered through long song systems 4 on end, the actors mute as fishes.
I somehow loved that silence, though, and felt it met my wishes, as no one talk does nowadays.
You hadn't yet seen through it, that's all.
I really think you're right, but still, what made him do it?
The instinct of a charlatan, to keep the audience guessing if Niobe ever meant to speak, the play meantime progressing.
Of course it was! The sly old dog, to think of how he tricked us. Oh, don't ramp and fume.
We're apt to do so when the facts convict us. Then after this tomfoolery, the heroine, feeling calmer, would utter some 12 wild bull words on midway through the drama. Long ones, with crests and beetling brows and gorgons round the border that no man ever heard on earth.
Red plague!
Order, order!
Intelligible, not one line.
Please, won't your teeth stop gnashing?
All fosses and scamander beds and bloody targes flashing with griffin eagles, bronze embossed and crags and riders reeling, which somehow never quite joined on.
By Zeus, sir, quite my feeling. A question comes in night's long hours that haunts me like a spectre. What fish or fowl you would call a russet hippolactor?
It was a ship's sign, idiot, such as every joiner fixes.
Indeed. I thought perhaps it meant that music man erexes.
You like then in a tragic play a cock, you think it mixes.
What did you yourself produce, O fool, with pride deluded?
Not hippolectors, thank the Lord, nor tragolaphs as you did, the sort of ornament they use to fill a Persian curtain. I had the drama straight from you, all bloated and uncertain, weighed down with rich and heavy words, puffed out past comprehension. I took the case in hand, applied treatment for such distension. Beetroot, light phrases, little walks, hot book juice, and cold reasoning. Then fed her up on solos.
With sophistophone for seasoning.
I didn't rave at random or plunge in and make confusions. My first appearing character explained, with due allusions, the whole play's pedigree.
Your own you left in wise obscurity.
Then no one from the start with me could idle with security. They had to work, the men, the slaves, the women, all made speeches. The kings, the little girls, the
Let's see the things he teaches, and shouldn't you be hanged for that?
No, by the Lord Apollo, it's democratic.
Oh, that's no road for you, my friend, to follow. You'll find the little walk too steep. I recommend you quit it.
Next I taught all the town to talk with freedom.
I admit it. 'Twere better ere you taught them. You had died amid their curses.
I gave them cannons to apply and squares for marking verses. Taught them to see, think, understand, to scheme for what they wanted, to fall in love, think evil, question all things.
Granted, granted.
I put things on the stage that came from daily life and business, where men could catch me if I tripped, could listen without dizziness to things they knew and judge my art. I never crashed and lightened and bullied people's senses out, nor tried to keep them frightened with magic swans and Ethiop knights, loud barb and clanging visor. Then look at my disciples too, and mark what creatures his are. For Miscius is his product, and the luby lump Meginatus. All trumpet, lance, moustache, and glare who twist their clubs of pine at us, while Cleitophon is mine, sirs, and Theramenes the matchless.
Theramenes, that's the man. All danger leaves him scratchless. His friends may come to leave as he be found in awkward fixes, but always lands right and up, not aces, no, all sixes!
This was the kind of lore I brought to school my town, and ways of thought I mingled reasoning with my art and shrewdness, till I fired their heart to brood, to think things through and through, and rule their houses better too.
Yes, by the powers, that's very true. No burgher now who lows inside, but looks around the house and roars, where is the saucepan gone? And who has bitten the sprat's head away? And out, alas, the earthen pot I bought last year is not. Where are the leeks of yesterday? And who has gnawed this olive tray? Whereas before they took his schooling, he'd sat at home, a simple, cool, religious, unsuspecting fool, happy in his sheep-like ways.
Achilles, gaze around thee. 'Twill astound thee and confound thee. Answer now, but keep in bound the words that off the course would tear.
Bitten teeth and turmoil flocking. Yes, it's monstrous, shameful, shocking. Brave old warrior. But beware, don't retort with haste or passion. Meet the squalls in sailor fashion, mainsail reefed and mast nigh bare.
Then, when safe beyond disaster, you may press him fiercer, faster, close and show yourself his master, once the wind is smooth and fair.
O thou who first of the Greeks did build words to great heaven-high towers, and the essence of tragedy padding distilled, give vent to thy pent-up showers.
I freely admit that I take it amiss, and I think my anger is just at having to answer a man like this. Still lest I should seem nonplussed, pray tell me on what particular ground a poet should claim admiration?
If his art is true and his counsel sound, and if he brings help to the nation, by making man better in some respect.
And suppose you have done the reverse, and have had upon good, strong men the effect of making them weaker and worse, what do you say should your recompense be?
The gallows, you needn't ask him.
Well, think what they were when he had them from me. Good 6-footers, solid of limb, well-born, well-bred, not ready to fly from obeying their country's call, nor in latter-day fashion to loiter and lie and keep their consciences small. Their life was in shafts of ash and of elm, and bright plumes fluttering wide, and lance and greaves and corselet and helm, and hearts of 7-fold hide.
Oh, now he's begun, and will probably run a whole armorer's shop on my head. Stop. How is it due, and especial to you, if they were so very well-bred?
Come, answer him, Aeschylus, and don't be so hot or smolder in silent disdain.
By a tragedy brimming with Ares.
What?
The 7 against Thebes?
Pray explain.
There wasn't a man could see that play, but he hungered for havoc and gore.
I'm afraid that tells in the opposite way, for the Thebans profited more. It urged them to fight without flinching or fear, and they did so, and long may you rue it.
The same thing was open to all of you here, but it didn't amuse you to do it. The next I taught you for glory, to long, and against all odds stand fast. That was the Persians which bodied in song the noblest deed of the past.
Yes, yes. When Darius rose from the grave, it gave me genuine joy. And the chorus, with their arms a-wave, Yahoy, Yahoy!
Yes, that's the effect for a play to produce. For observe, from the world's first start, those poets who have all been of practical use, who have been supreme in their art. First Orpheus withheld us from bloodshed impure, and vouchsafed us the great revelation. Then Hesiod showed us the season, to plough, to sow, and to reap, and the laurels that shine upon Homer's celestial brow are equally due to his morals. He taught men to stand, to march, and to arm.
So that was old Homer's profession. Then I can hope he keeps his successors free from harm, like Pantocles in the procession, who first got his helmet well strapped to his head, and then tried to put it in the plume.
There be many brave men that he fashioned and bred, like Lamachus now in his tomb. And in his great spirit my plays had a part, with their heroes many and brave. Teucer's, Patroclus, lions at heart, who made my citizens crave to dash like them at the face of the foe, and leap at the call of a trumpet. But no Sthenaboia I've given you, no Phaedra, no heroine strumpet. If I've once put a woman love, in one act of one play, may my teaching be scouted.
No, you hadn't exactly the style to attract Aphrodite.
I'm better without it. A deal too much of that style she found in some of your friends and you, and once at the least left you flat on the ground.
By Stu's, that's perfectly true. If he dealt such rattling blows to his neighbors, we must think how he suffered in person.
And what are the public defects you suppose my poor Stenoboia to worsen?
She makes good women and good men's wives when their hearts are weary and want ease. Drink jorums of hemlock and finish their lives to gratify Bellerophontes.
But did I invent the story I told of Phaedra? Say, wasn't it history?
It was true, right enough, but the poet should hold such a truth enveloped in mystery, and not represent it or make it a play. It's his duty to teach, and you know it. As a child learns from all who may come in his way, so the grown world learns from the poet. Oh, words of good counsel should flow from his voice.
And words like Mount Lycabettus or Parnes, such as you give us for choice, must needs be good counsel. Oh, let us at least use the language of men.
What cavil? Cavil absurd. When the subject is great and the sentiment, then of necessity great grows the word. When heroes give range to their hearts, is it strange if the speech of them over us towers? Nay, the garb of them too must be gorgeous to view and majestical, nothing like ours. All this I saw, and established as law till you came and spoilt it.
How so?
You wrapped them in rags from old beggarmen's bags to express their heroic woe, and reduced the spectator to tears of compassion.
Well, what was the harm if I did?
Your modern rich man has adopted the fashion for remission of taxes to bid. He couldn't provide a trireme if he tried. He implores us his state to behold.
Though rags on the outside may hide good wounds beneath if it's cold, but when once he's exempted, he gaily departs and pops up at the fishmonger's stalls.
And next you've trained in the speech-making arts, nigh every infant that crawls. Oh, this is the thing that such havoc has wrought to the wrestling school, narrowed the hips of the poor pale chattering children, and taught the crews of the pick of the ships to answer back pat to their officer's nose. How unlike my old sailor of yore, with no thought in his head but to guzzle his brews and sing as he bent at the oar.
And spit on the heads of rowers below and garrote stray lubbers on shore. But our new man just sails where it happens to blow, and argues and rows no more.
What hasn't he done that is under the sun, and the love-dealing dames that with him have begun? One her own brother's wife, one says life is not life, and one goes into shrines to give birth to a son. Our city through him is filled to the brim with monkeys who chatter to everyone's whim. Little scriveners, clerks with their winks and their larks, but for wrestle a race, not a muscle in trim.
Not a doubt of it, why I laugh fit to cry at the Panthania, a man to espy, pale, flabby, and fat, and bent double at that, puffing feebly behind with a tear in his eye, till there in their plays with chord and with praise were the potters assembled to quicken his pace, and down they came whack on sides, belly, and back, till he blew out his torch and he fled from the race.
Never were such warriors, never prized so rich and feuds so keen. Dangerous, too, such knots to sever.
He drives on with stern endeavor. He falls back, but rallies ever, marks a spot and stabs it clean.
Change your step, though do not tarry. Other ways there be to harry. Old antagonist in art, show whatever sparks you carry. Question, answer, thrust, and parry. Be they new or ancient merry, let them fly well-winged and smart.
If you fear from former cases that perhaps the audience may fail to appreciate your paces, your illusions and your graces, look a moment in their faces, they will tell another tale.
Oft from long campaigns returning through the devious roads of learning, these have wandered, books in hand.
Nature gave them keen discerning eyes, and you have set them burning. Sharpest thought and deepest yearning, speak, and these will understand.
Quite so. I'll turn then to his prologue straight, and make in that first part of tragedy my first review in detail of this genius. His exposition always was obscure.
Which one will you examine?
Which? Oh, lots. First, quote me that from the Oresteia, please.
Oh, silence in the court. Aeschylus, speak.
Guide of the dead, warding a father's way, be thou my light and savior where I pray, in this my fatherland returned, restored.
You find some false lines there?
About a dozen.
Why, altogether there are only 3.
But every one has 20 faults in drawing.
Oh, no, stop, Aeschylus. Or perhaps you'll find your depths run up to more than 3 iambics.
Stop to let him speak.
Well, that's my advice.
He's gone straight off some 1,000 miles astray.
Of course it's foolery, but what do I care? Point out the faults.
Repeat the lines again.
Guide of the dead, warding a father's way.
Orestes speaks these words, I take it, standing on his dead father's tomb.
I don't deny it.
Then what's the father's way that Hermes wards? Is it the way Orestes' father went? To darkness by a woman's dark intent?
No, he calls on Arione and Hermes, guide of the dead, and adds a word to say that office is derived from Hermes' father.
That is worse than I supposed. For if your Hermes derives his care of dead men from his father...
Why, resurrectioning's the family trade!
Dionysus, dull of fragrance is thy wine.
Well, say the next, and you look out for faults.
Be thou my light and savior where I pray, in this my fatherland returned, restored.
Our noble Aeschylus repeats himself.
How so?
Observe his phrasing and you'll see. First to this land, returned, and then restored. Returned is just the same thing as restored.
Yes, it's as if you asked your neighbor, lend me a pail, or if not that, a bucket.
Oh, too much talking has bemudged your brain. The words are not the same, the line is perfect.
Now, is it really? How do you figure?
Returning home is the act of any person who has a home. He comes back, nothing more. And exile both returns and is restored.
True, by Apollo! And what do you say to that?
I don't admit Orestes was restored. He came in secret with no legal permit.
By Zeus, that's very true. Oh, I wonder what they mean by that.
Go on to the next.
Well, do as he says, Aeschylus, come. And you, look out for faults.
Yea, on this bank of death I call my lord to hear and list.
Another repetition! To hear and list, the same thing palpably.
The man was speaking to the dead, you dog, who are always called 3 times, and then never listen.
Come, how do you write prologues?
Oh, I'll show you. And if you find there any repetitions or any irrelevant padding, spit upon me.
Oh, do begin to quote. I wouldn't want to miss these prologues in all their exquisite exactitude.
At first was Oedipus in happy state.
He wasn't. He was born and bred in misery. Did not Apollo doom him, still unborn, to slay his father?
His poor unborn father?
A happy state at first, you call it, do you?
At first was Oedipus in happy state, then changed he, and became most desolate.
He didn't. He was never anything else. Why, he was scarcely born when they exposed him in winter in a pot, that he might never grow up and be his father's murderer. Then off he crawled to Polybus with sore feet, then married an old woman twice his age, who, further, chanced to be his mother, then tore out his eyes, the lucky dog he was.
At least he fought no fight at sea with a colleague near Aristophanes.
That's no criticism. I write my prologues singularly well.
By Zeus, I won't go pecking word by word at every phrase. I will take one little oil can, God helping me, and send your prologues pop,
My prologues pop with oil cans.
Just one oil can. You write them so that nothing comes amiss. The bed quilt, or the oil can, or the clothes bag, all suit your tragic verse. Wait, and I'll prove it.
You'll prove it. Really?
Yes.
Begin to quote.
Aegyptus, so the tale is spread afar, with 50 youths fled in a sea-borne car. But reaching Argo...
Found his oil can gone.
What's that about an oil can? Drat that thing. Quote him another one, and let's see.
Dionysus, who with wand and fawnskin dight, on great Parnassus races in the light of lamps far flashing.
Found his oil can gone.
Alas, the oil can finds our hearts again.
It won't come to much, though. Here's another with not a crack to stick the oil can in. No man hath bliss in full and flawless health. Lo! This one hath high race but little wealth. That base in blood hath...
Found his oil can gone.
Euripides!
Well?
Oh, better furl your sails. And that oil can seems inclined to hurl the waves.
I disdain to give a thought to it. I'll dash it from his hands in half a minute. Great Cadmus, long ago, Agenor's son, from Sidon racing...
Found his oil can gone!
Oh, this is awful! Buy the thing outright, before it messes up every blessed prologue.
I buy him off.
I highly recommend it.
No. I have many prologues yet to cite where he can't find a chink to pour his oil. As rapid wheels to Pisa bore him on, Tantalian Pelops was...
Found his oil can gone!
Oh!
What did I tell you? There it sticks again. You might let Polyps have a new one, though. You get them quite good, very cheap these days.
By Zeus, not yet. I still have plenty left. From Earth, King Oeneus.
Found his oil can gone!
You must first let me quote one line entire. From Earth, King Oeneus goodly harvest won. But while he worshipped...
Found his oil can gone.
Oh, to read the prayers! Who could have been the thief?
Let him be. I defy him. Answer this. Great Zeus in heaven, the word of truth has flown down.
He is certain to be gone. They bristle with oil cans, long gray hairs, with hedgehog wives. Your prologue, they're as bungled as your ears. For God's sake, change the subject. Take his songs.
Songs? Yes, I have materials to show how bad his are, and always all alike.
What in the world should we look for next?
Aeschylus's music. I feel perplexed how he could want it mended.
I've always held that never a man had written or sung since the world began melodies half so splendid.
Can he really find a mistake in the master of inspiration?
I feel some consternation for our Bacchic prince's sake.
Wonderful songs they are. You'll see directly. I'll run them all together into one.
Then I'll take some pebbles and count for you.
Scythian Achilles canst hark to the battleman's slaying shock. Yea, shock, and not to succor come. Lo, we of the mere give worship to Hermes, the fount of our stock. Yea, shock, and not to succor come.
Oh, 2 shocks for you, Aeschylus, there.
Thou choice of Achaia, wide ruling Atrides, give heed to my schooling. Yea, shock, and not to succor come.
A 3rd shock, that I do declare.
A peace and give ear, for the bee-maids be near, to ope wide Artemis portals. Yea, shock, and not to succor come. Behold, it is mine to sing of the way fate laden to mortals. Yea, shock, and not to succor come.
Oh, Zeus almighty, what a chain of shocks. Oh, I should go and weigh and take a bath. This is all too much shock for my kidneys and my lungs.
Not till you've heard another little set compounded from his various cithara songs.
Well then proceed, but only don't put any shocks in.
How the might twin throned of Achaia for Helen chivalry bringeth, flatter threat, the prince of the powers of storm, the sphinx thereover he wingeth, flatter threat, with deedful hand and lance, the furious fowl of the air, flatter threat, the wild wind walking hounds unhindered tear, flatter threat, and war to his eye as leaned his weight, flatter threat.
What's flatter threat? Was it from Marathon you found this wool gatherer's stuff, or where?
Glean was the place I found them, clean the place I brought them, loath to glean with Fernicus, the same enchanted meadow of the muse. But any place will do for him to poach. Drink ditties of Miletus, carrion pipings and wakes and dancing songs. Here, let me show you. Ho, someone bring my lyre. But no, what needs of lyres for this stuff? Where's the wench that plays the bones? Approach, Euripidean muse. These songs are meet for your accompaniment.
This muse was once no lesbian, no, not at all.
Ye halcyons by the dancing sea you babble everlastingly, while on your bathing pinions claw the dewy foam sprays fresh and free, and oh ye spiders deaf to crawl in many a chink of roof and wall, while left and right, before, behind, your fingers wind the treasures of the laboring loom, fruit of the shadow's minstrel mind, where many a songful dolphin trips to lead the dark blue beaked ships, and tosses with aerial touch temples and race courses and such. Oh, bright grape tendrils, essence pure, wine to squeak care from humans' lips. Grant me, O child, one arm pressure. That foot, you see.
I do.
And he?
Of course I see the foot.
And this is the stuff to try you bring and face my songs with the kind of thing that a man might sing when he dances a fling to mad Cyrene's flute. There, that's your choral stuff. But I've not finished. I want to show the spirit of his solos. What vision of dreaming, thou fire-hearted night? Death's minion dark gleaming hast thou sent in my might, and his soul was no soul, and the murk was his mother, a horror to sight. Black dead was his robe and his eyes, all blood, and the claws of him great. Ye maidens, strike fire in your eyes, take pails to the well by the gate. Ye bring me a cruse of hot water to wash off this vision of fate. Thou sprite of the sea, even as I feared, for the lodgers of me where dread thing hath appeared. Lo, Calliope hath stolen my cock, and away from the neighborhood cleared. Ye nymphs of the mountain, give aid, what's come of the scullery maid? Were I were dead, to my work had given my mind a spindle heavy with thread. My hands did whine, and I meant to go early to market, a suitable buyer to find. But he rose in the air, on quivering blades of flight, and he left me care, and tears of despair. Fell and dimmed my sight. Children of Ida snows, Cretans, take up your bows, and ring the house with many a leaping limb. And thou, fair maiden of bliss, Dictina Artemis, range thy bannocks from each corner dim. Yea, thou of two full fires, grant me my deep desires. Thou Zeus-born Hecate, and all men's eyes at the detective sheen flash from thy torches keen. Light me to Glyce's house in that lost vow supreme.
Come, stop the singing.
I've had quite enough. What I want is to bring him to the balance, the one sure test of what our art is worth.
So is that my business now? Come forward, please. I'll weigh out poetry like so much cheese.
Oh, the workings of genius are keen and laborious. Here's the new wonder, incredible, glorious.
Who but this twain have the boldness of brain to so quaint an invention to run?
A marvelous thing if another had said it had.
Happened to him I should never have credited.
I should have just thought that he must
Simply be talking for fun.
Come, take your places at the balance.
There.
There.
Now each take hold of it and speak a line, and do not let go until I say a cuckoo.
We have it.
Act. Now, each a verse into the scale.
Would God nor Argo e'er had winged the brine,
Sperchius and ye haunts of grazing kine.
Cuckoo, let go. Down comes Aeschylus far forward.
what could be the explanation?
The river he put in to wet his wares the way wool growers do. You know the verse you gave had wings.
Well, let him speak another and we'll see.
Take hold again.
There you are.
Now speak.
Persuasion, save in speech, no temple hath.
Lo, one God craves no offering, even death.
Let go!
Why, his goes down again.
He put death in, a monstrous heavy thing.
But my persuasion made a lovely line.
Oh, persuasion has no bulk and not much weight. Do look about you for some ponderous wine to force down the scale, something large and heavy.
Where have I such a thing now? Where?
Oh, I'll tell you. Aeschylus has 2 aces and a 4. Well, come! Speak your lines, this is the final bout.
A mace of weighted iron, Achilles' right hand sped.
Chariot on chariot lay, dead, piled on dead.
He beat you again!
How does he do it?
Oh, 2 chariots and 2 corpses in the scale? Why, 10 Egyptians couldn't carry so much.
Come, no more line for lines. Let him jump in and sit in the scale himself, with all his books, his wife, his children, his Cephisophon. I'll back 2 lines of mine against the lot.
Room for the king.
Well, is the strife decided?
Well, I won't decide. The both are both my friends. One so fine, and I do so love the other.
In that case, you must give up all you came for.
And if I should decide?
Why, not to make your troubles fruitless, you may take ever whatever you decide for.
Hearty thanks. Now both approach and I'll explain. I came down here to fetch a poet. Now, why a poet? That his advice may guide the city true, and so keep up my worship. Consequently, I will take whichever I see the best advisor. So, advise me first about Alcibiades, whose birth gives travail still to Mother Athens.
What is her disposition towards him?
Well, she loves and hates and longs still to possess. I want the views of both on this question.
Out on the burgher who to serve his state is slow, but swift to do her deadly hate, with much wit for himself and none for her.
Goodbye, Zeus, that. And what do you say?
No lions walk within thy precincts, phrase, but if it be there, bend thee to its ways.
By Zeus the Saver, I still can't decide. Oh, the one so fine and the other so convincing. I must ask you both for another judgment. What steps do you intend to take to save our country?
I know and am prepared to say.
Say on.
Where mistrust now has sway, put trust to dwell. And where trust is, mistrust, and all is well.
I don't quite follow. Say that again, and not quite so cleverly, and much, much simpler.
If we count all the men whom now we trust suspect, and call on those whom now we spurn to serve us, we may find deliverance yet.
And what do you say?
First, tell me about the city. What servants does she choose? The good?
Oh, great heavens, she loathes them.
And takes pleasure in the vile?
Not she, but she has preforce to let them serve her.
What hope of comfort is there for a city that quarrels with her silk and hates her hodden?
That's what you must answer if you want to rise again.
I'll answer there, not here.
No. Better to send up blessings from below.
Her safety is to count her enemies' land her own, yea, and her own her enemies'. Her ships her treasures, and her treasure dross.
Good. Though it all goes down the juror's throat.
Come! Give your judgment!
Well, I'll decide like this. I shall choose whoever my soul desires.
Remember all the gods by whom you swore to take me home with you, and choose your friend.
My tongue hath sworn, but I shall choose Aeschylus!
What have you done, you traitor?
I've decided that Aeschylus gets the prize. And why shouldn't I?
Canst meet mine eyes, fresh from your deed of shame?
Shame? What shame? The theater deems no shame.
Hard heart! You mean to leave your old friend dead?
But who knows if to live is but to die, if truth is bread and sleep a woolly lie.
Come in then, both.
Again?
To feast with me before you sail.
Oh, with pleasure. That's the way to crown a duly contented day.
Oh, blessed are they who possess an extra share of brains, 'tis a fact that more or less all fortunes of men express.
As now by showing an intellect glowing, this man his home regains, brings benefit far and near to all who may hold him dear, and staunches his country's tear.
All because of his brains.
Never with Socrates make one of the row of fools,
Who gabble away at ease, letting art and music freeze.
And freely neglect in every respect the drama's principal rules.
Oh, to sit in a gloomy herd, a scraping of word on word, all idle and all absurd.
That is the fate of fools.
Then farewell, Aeschylus. Go your ways and save your town for happier days. By counsel wise, and a school prepare for all the fools. There are plenty there. And take me some parcels, I pray. This sword is for Cleophon, these ropes for the board of providers. But ask them one halter to spare for Cleophon too, and Nicomachus one too is Myrmec's share. And along with this venomous draft for Archenimus, take them my confident prayer, that they will come here for a visit and stay, and bid them be quick, for should they delay or meet my request with ingratitude, say, I will fetch them myself by Apollo! And hurry the gang of them all down with a run, all branded and chained with Leocalyphus' son, the sublime Adamantus, to follow.
I will do as you wish. And as for my throne, I beg you let Sophocles sit there alone, on guard till perchance I return some day, for he, all present, may mark what I say is my second, in art and in wit. And see above all that this devil-may care, child of deceit with his mountebank air, shall never on that imperial chair by the wildest of accidents sit.
With holy torches and high display, light ye the march's triumphal advance. Let Aeschylus' music in Aeschylus' way echo in song and in dance.
Peace go with him, and joy in his journey guide ye our poets forth to the light, ye powers that reign on earth and below it.
Send good thoughts with him too, for the aid of a travailing nation.
So shall we rest at the last, and forget our long desolation, war and the clashing of wrongs.
And for Cleophon, why, if he'd rather, let him fight all alone with his friends in the far-off fields of his father.
With holy torches in high display, like he the marches triumphal advance. Let Aeschylus' music on Aeschylus' way echo in song and in dance.
What? Burke?